You've been lied to about strawberries. Everyone's growing 10 plants and getting 20 berries, while I just harvested 114 strawberries from a single 5-gallon bucket, and it only cost me $8. The secret isn't more soil or bigger pots. It's a method commercial growers have been using for decades that nobody's showing home gardeners. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to turn one bucket into a strawberry factory that produces for 3 years straight. Let's grow. Here's what's happening in your backyard right now. You planted 6 strawberry plants in containers. You watered them, you fed them, you waited, and you got maybe 15 strawberries total. That's 2.5 berries per plant. That's not a harvest. That's a snack. Meanwhile, you're watching YouTube videos telling you to buy bigger pots, spend more on soil, add more fertilizer, but they're missing the actual problem. Strawberries don't fail because of pot size, they fail because of planting density and runner management. And that's exactly what we're fixing today. I'm going to show you how to plant 15 strawberry crowns in a single 5-gallon bucket using a vertical stacking method that triples your yield without tripling your space. This isn't theory. I've been running this system for 2 seasons, and my average harvest per bucket is 106 strawberries from one bucket. Let me show you how it works. But first, I need to know something. Drop a comment right now and tell me what country you're watching from. I'm seeing viewers from the UK, Canada, Australia, and across the US crushing this method, and I want to know where you're growing. Type your country below. Now let's break down why this works. Most people plant strawberries like tomatoes, 1 plant per pot. Give it space, let it grow. But strawberries aren't tomatoes. Strawberries are clonal spreaders. In nature, they send out runners to colonize space. The mother plant isn't meant to feed you alone. It's meant to create a colony that feeds you, and that's the key. When you plant 15 crowns in one bucket using vertical drilling, you're not overcrowding. You're mimicking a natural strawberry colony. Each plant gets enough root space in its own pocket, but the canopy overlaps to create a dense fruiting layer. This is how commercial strawberry farms get insane yields per square foot. They plant tight and manage runners aggressively. But here's where everyone screws up. They use hanging baskets with those side pockets, and the pockets dry out in 6 hours. The plants stress. Production tanks. We're not doing that. We're using a 5-gallon bucket with strategically drilled holes that allow each plant to root independently while sharing moisture from a central reservoir. It's called a wicking column system, and it's about to change how you grow strawberries forever. Let me walk you through the build. You need 5 things. 1 5-gallon bucket. You can grab this from any hardware store for $3, or use a food-grade bucket from a bakery for free. 1 drill with a 2-inch hole saw bit. A bag of high-quality potting mix, not garden soil, potting mix. This matters because we need drainage and aeration. 15 strawberry crowns. I'm using ever-bearing varieties because they produce spring through fall. June-bearing varieties give you 1 big flush and then stop. We want continuous production. And 1 plastic water bottle. That's it. $8 if you're buying everything new. Here's the build process. Step 1. Drill your planting holes. Mark 3 holes around the bucket 6 inches from the bottom. Drill them at a slight upward angle so soil doesn't fall out. Then mark 3 more holes 6 inches above those. Offset them so they're not stacked directly on top of each other. Repeat 1 more time. You should have 9 holes total in 3 staggered rows. This is critical. If you stack holes vertically, the top plants steal all the light from the bottom plants. Staggered rows give every plant access to sun. Step 2. Create your wicking reservoir. Take your plastic water bottle and cut off the bottom. Poke about 20 small holes around the sides with a nail or a drill bit. This bottle is going to sit in the center of your bucket, acting as a watering column. When you fill it, water slowly seeps out and keeps the soil evenly moist without waterlogging. Step 3. Fill and plant. Put 3 inches of potting mix in the bottom of your bucket. Set your perforated water bottle in the center. Add more soil around it until you reach your first row of holes. Now, here's the technique everyone misses. Gently push your strawberry crown through the hole from the inside out. The roots stay inside. The crown sits right at the hole edge. The leaves hang outside. This prevents crown rot, which is the #1 killer of container strawberries. Pack soil around the roots inside the bucket. Not too tight. You want air pockets. Repeat for all 9 side holes. Then plant 6 more crowns in the top of the bucket around your water bottle. 15 plants total. Water thoroughly through the top and through your center bottle until you see drainage from the bottom holes. You just built a strawberry production system that will outperform anything your neighbors are growing. But we're not done yet. Here's where most container strawberry growers fail. They plant, they water, and they wonder why production drops after the first flush. Strawberries are heavy feeders, especially when you're asking 15 plants to produce in 5 gallons of soil. You need a feeding schedule, or this whole system falls apart. Week 1 through 4. No fertilizer. Let the plants establish roots. They're living off the nutrients in your potting mix. Week 5. Start feeding. I use a liquid organic fertilizer diluted to half strength. Fish emulsion works. Compost tea works. Even diluted Miracle Grow works if that's what you have. Feed every 2 weeks through the growing season. But here's the secret nobody talks about. In week 8, switch to a bloom booster fertilizer with higher phosphorus. This is what triggers heavy flowering, which means heavy fruiting. I use a 5-10-5 ratio. 5% nitrogen, 10% phosphorus, 5% potassium. Brands like Fox Farm or Espoma work great. You can find this at any garden center for about $6. Apply it every 3 weeks once flowering starts. This one change took my average yield from 60 berries per bucket to over 100. But feeding isn't enough. You also need to manage runners, or this system collapses. Let me show you how. If you've grown strawberries before, you know what runners are. Those long stems that shoot out from the mother plant with baby plantlets at the end. Most people let them grow, thinking more plants equals more berries. Wrong. Runners drain energy from fruit production. Every runner you let grow steals nutrients that should be going into strawberries. Here's the strategy. For the first 6 weeks, cut every single runner that appears. No exceptions. This forces the plant to put all its energy into root development and crown establishment. Once your plants start flowering heavily, you can let a few runners develop. But here's the trick. Only let runners grow from your top 6 plants, and only let 2 runners per plant. Pin those runners into the top soil of your bucket using a bent paperclip or a small stone. They'll root and become productive plants without you needing to pot them separately. But any runner from your side hole plants gets cut immediately. Those plants don't have room to support runners without crowding. This disciplined runner management is the difference between 60 strawberries and over 100. Trust me. Now let's talk about the biggest mistake I see beginners make. Container strawberries die from 2 things, drought stress and root rot. Both are watering problems. Here's how to avoid them. Your center water bottle is your insurance policy against drying out. Fill it every 3 days in summer, once a week in cooler weather. But you also need to top water once a week to flush salts and refresh the top roots. Here's the test. Stick your finger 2 inches into the soil at the top of the bucket. If it's dry, top water until you see drainage. If it's moist, wait a day. Never let the top 6 plants sit in dry soil for more than 2 days. They'll stress and drop flowers. But never let the bottom plants sit in soggy soil either. That's root rot waiting to happen. The water bottle system prevents this, but you still need to check your drainage holes. If water isn't coming out the bottom when you water heavily, your soil is hydrophobic or compacted. Fix this by poking a chopstick down into the soil in a few spots to create air channels. This keeps oxygen flowing to roots, which keeps plants healthy. One more thing. Mulch the top of your bucket with shredded leaves or straw. This keeps soil temperature stable and prevents moisture loss. I've tested buckets with and without mulch, and mulched buckets produce about 20% more fruit. It's a 5-minute task that pays off for months. All right, you've got the build, you've got the feeding schedule, you've got watering and runner management dialed in. Now let's talk harvest strategy. Most people pick strawberries when they turn red. That's a mistake. If you want your plants to keep producing, you need to pick strawberries at peak ripeness. That's about 2 days after they turn fully red. Here's why. A strawberry that's bright red but still firm isn't ripe. It's mature. If you pick it, then the plant stops sending energy to that fruit cluster and starts a new one. But if you wait 2 more days until the berry is deep red and slightly soft, that fruit has fully completed its cycle. The plant registers a successful reproduction and immediately triggers more flowers. This is hormonal signaling, and it matters. I harvest every 3 days during peak season. I walk around the bucket and only pick berries that are deep red and fragrant. This keeps the plants in constant production mode. Also, never pull berries off. Pinch the stem or use scissors. Pulling damages the crown and can introduce disease. Treat your plants gently, and they'll feed you for 3 years from the same bucket. And speaking of 3 years, here's what you can actually expect. Here's the truth nobody tells you. Year 1, you'll get about 60 to 80 strawberries as the plants establish. Year 2, you'll hit 100 to 120 berries because the crowns are mature. Year 3, production drops slightly, but you're still pulling 80+ berries from a bucket you planted once. That's 3 years of fresh strawberries from $8 and 1 afternoon of work. Now, here's something crucial if you live in a cold climate. If you're in Zone 5 or colder, that's the Midwest, the Northeast, and most of Canada, move your bucket into an unheated garage or basement before the first hard freeze. Water lightly once a month, just enough to keep the soil from going completely dry. Bring it back out in spring after your last frost. The plants will wake up and produce even faster in year 2. If you're in Zone 6 or warmer, that's the South, the Pacific Northwest, and the UK, you can leave your bucket outside. Just mulch heavily on top and place it against a south-facing wall for protection. And if you're wondering about planting timing, here's a quick guide. Zone 6 or warmer, plant your bucket directly outside after your last spring frost. Zone 5 or colder, start your bucket indoors in April and move it outside when temperatures stay above 40 degrees. Before you go, if you want to see me grow potatoes in a laundry basket and compare yields against trash bags and grow bags, I've got that video ready for you. Click it, watch it, and if you want more container growing hacks that actually work, hit that subscribe button right now. I post new videos every week. Keep growing your backyard verdant. I'll see you in the next one.